we doing, everyone? How we going? Welcome along to a little sort of bit of an impromptu stream today. I wouldn't normally stream on a Friday. I'm trying something different today as well. This will not be a VOD, so this is going to happen, and then I'm going to private it because I want to support Paul, but I do not want to create a direct market replacement for his video, okay? So I would really like to encourage everyone, even if you watch the entire stream, to go to Paul's video and give it a like and leave a comment. And if you can, play it as well. I really want him to, I want his video to get as many views as possible. This is all just part of playing a part in that. I have asked Paul explicit permission to watch it today on stream, so I want that to be understood as well. That this is sanctioned by the director, by the creator themselves. And I'm hoping to have Paul on the show as soon as possible to chat about the documentary as well. And I haven't seen the entire thing yet, so I want to. I'm having a bit of a day off today, which is a silly thing to say when I've just turned on stream. But I'm having a bit of a chill day, so I was gonna probably just hang out and play some games anyway. So we're gonna roll with some Fortnite and watch the video. That's my plan today, everyone. Okay, so here it is, Turning Point. The twists and turns of speedcubing, sitting on 4.3k views, which is a crime. Paul is sitting on 167 subscribers. Criminal. So please do go and subscribe to our man here. I'm going to go and grab the link to the video. Hopefully he's able to join today, but I'm going to pin the video in the chat so that we've got that there. So all that out of the way, we're going to just get straight into it, everyone. And hopefully, let's just make sure levels and everything are good. So I can see that volume is coming through. I can see that the PlayStation volume's coming through.
The original Super Mario Bros.
I think we're good, hey. Might have to turn the PlayStation down just a little bit.
4 minutes and
Hey, relax, Paul. We're not starting yet. We're sound checking, okay? Chill. We're going to turn his video up a bit. Thank you, Mad Cubes, for subbing. Cole, I'll play with viewers on Fortnite. Yeah, you can add me if you want. You can jump on. We can squad up. That would be great. I can't promise that I'll do chat. Well, I definitely won't be doing team chat because I will be listening to and watching the video. But yeah, if you want to jump on, do that by all means. Can you see my there's my little name here. How do I find my own name? Hold on. There you go. If you're on PlayStation, it's Merc_Furled. If you're on anything else, it's Charlies_Dad. I'll chuck them on on here. Phoenix. Yeah, I do have a gaming channel that I'm going to resurrect called Scart Leads, and I want to play through GTA 4. I'm playing GTA 5 on my own just for funsies. I've just finished Vice City and San Andreas from the original trilogy, the remastered versions. But yeah, I'm gonna do GTA 4 on my gaming channel. I think I want to resurrect that and have some fun. Because the world's just getting a little bit dark and scary at the moment, and I want to do anything except talk about the real things that are happening in the world. Which is another thing another thing that I do on YouTube. But yes, in short, yes. Right, what was I saying? So PlayStation, it's Merc_Furled. Epic is Charlies_Dad_. That is so that Charlie's mates know that it's me online and not Charlie. All right, does that make sense? I think I'm going to play some... I might have a look around in the main map, but I'm probably just going to knock out some blitz first of all. But anyway, sad news. My regular controller has got mad stick drift. It's constantly pushing up. It's driving me completely insane. So I'm going to use my goofy third-party controller. That's my excuse if I'm rubbish today, all right? That's my excuse. I'm playing on a goofy-ass controller. Okay. Let's just get at it, shall we? Hold on. I want to go back to the start. Okay, here we go. Turning Point by 7peg.
The shortest amount
twists
of
and
time
turns of
that
speedcubing.
anyone has managed to beat the
Let's
original
get it.
Super Mario Bros. In is 4 minutes and 54 and a half
That's
seconds.
actually insane. I played that game to death on the NES when I was a kid.
It's over! It's over!
It's
The fastest
over.
time for a human being to run a mile is 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
I definitely haven't done that. I hate running a mile.
And the fastest F1 lap ever completed was just under 1 minute and 19 seconds. In only
Which circuit was that? I
56
missed that.
seconds, a
What
and
circuit?
19 seconds.
Oh, well, I need to know
In
which
only
circuit, sir.
56 seconds, a 1 kilometer bike race was completed. And in 10 seconds
I've
less
never
than
ridden a
that,
velodrome. I'd
the
like to.
fastest 100-meter swim.
It is a new world record!
The quickest time for a Tetris 40-line sprint is only about 14 seconds.
That's
and in under 10
ridiculous.
seconds sits the world record for the 100-meter dash.
There's our man.
He's coming, but can't catch him.
The big bull. Is he the original dabber?
Look at the time.
Is he the original dab?
5-8-1.
I feel like he did that
The world record
way
for
before
a
anyone
cup
else
stacking
did.
full cycle is just 4.739
Watch this stop.
seconds.
Watch this stop.
But in even less time than that, sits
Interesting,
the
eh?
world record for
Cube stacking is so
solving
wick-
a
so wild.
Rubik's Cube.
Let's go, Juan Yi. Yes! Look at him, he's crashed.
3.05 seconds. That's all the time it took from scramble to solve.
And we love that.
All this speed
We love that
is
for
the
our boy Juan Yi.
culmination of an entire community, constantly refining their skills to find the fastest possible way that a Rubik's Cube can be solved.
Where's there an update like yesterday? Come on, PS4. Catch up with yourself, would you?
A Rubik's Cube is a rotating combination puzzle toy with 6 faces and 9 squares on each side that most people likely view as an insurmountable task to return to its
Not
initial
me.
state after scrambling. These things are famous for being complicated and have been followed by the running joke of being seemingly impossible for 4 decades.
My boyfriend can do it in 25. Says it's all in the wrist.
20
Yes,
seconds.
Queen.
Tops. Don't ask me. I can't do it at all. What? It's impossible.
And this is somewhat understandable. Before the internet and video tutorials, learning to solve a cube could be incredibly difficult.
How quick can you, Rubik?
After all, if we take the stated 500 million cubes sold by Rubik's since its invention,
Dang, that's
and
a lot
then
of
add
cubes,
all
though.
the additional knockoffs and custom cubes, we can estimate maybe around 700 million cubes in
Sorry.
the world, give or take a wide range. Now, based on my own estimates and just some educated guesses, I'd say that around 35% of those cubes are in the hands of someone who just casually owns them, or maybe like a kid who got one for Christmas. Another 10% maybe are the ones actually
these
owned by
numbers.
someone interested in cubing, whether competitively or just as a solo pastime. Then I think a good guess is that around half of all cubes have been stored away somewhere, lost or forgotten in an attic.
I mean, like
or generally just not
90% of
seeing the
mine are
light of day.
stored.
Now, if we also consider how common it is for someone to mix up a cube, even though they don't know how to solve it, I would make a completely personal estimate that around 1/3 of all cubes in the world, that's almost 250,000, are currently, at this moment, scrambled.
That makes
On
me
top
upset.
of that, there's a decent chance that these cubes stay scrambled and that no one is coming to fix them. But think of it, with the right person or a little commitment, it might only take seconds to finally put it back
Oh, I
into
pooped out a
place.
shotgun.
It might also take
Method,
hours,
okay.
but I encourage you to tackle that challenge. Let's together help change that percentage a little. And
So
in the end,
what we know about Paul is he is a cuber, in so much as he can solve. He isn't a competitive cuber, like he doesn't compete. Ephemeca, none of mine are scrambled. No, I know, same. Imagine storing them scrambled. What an insane thing to do. What is with the mega jumps? What is that? Imagine storing your cubes scrambled. Absolutely insane. Ah. Nah, bro. Get back here. We ain't having this. Where did he go? We ain't having that. Blitz might be a bit intense for watching this, to be honest.
And the
I might have to go to
validation
the big
of that
map.
last turn into a fully solved cube will bring so much exhilaration. I guarantee it.
What the hell happened there?
Throughout this video, we will keep coming back to this cube. It
Yeah,
probably
this is the
doesn't look all
crazy
that
thing about
different.
this video, is it is also, he's managed to like, there's a subplot of a tutorial, which is really wild. This guy's annoying me because he's clearly really good.
From
I
your
wanna
scrambled
kill him.
cube, besides the small detail of this one being digital. And if you do have a cube that's been untouched, then make the jump and mix it up. After
Hell
all,
yeah.
that's what it was made to do.
Look at our man out
Together,
here just
we'll
encouraging
walk through the
people
steps
to
of solving a Rubik's
encouraging
Cube.
people to solve.
At the same time,
He's doing the
learning
big work
how it
for us.
works, how people do it so
Ah.
quickly, and
Oh,
all
crap.
about the community that has formed with this puzzle toy at its heart. Remember to take it all slow. You can always pause or go back and watch a step over again if you need to. And if you don't have a cube or just don't want to follow along, that's totally okay too. It will still be great insight to just see the process happen, and I promise this video will still be interesting. Before we get started, it's important to know that cubing is a bit random, so there's a completely possible chance that you might skip an entire step of the tutorial. In fact, it's likely that each time you try, it's a scramble never seen before, so you might have to do every step. Let's start out with something easy. I recommend that you play with the cube for a while and just get comfortable with the way it turns. This will be really helpful for the first step, where our goal is to make a cross on the white side. Now what makes this a little more complicated is that your white edge pieces also need to match with the correct center colors.
Oof.
As you can see
We're
here.
stuck here. What are we doing?
Making this happen is one of the few steps you might be able to just do intuitively, so it's possible you'll get ahead of me on this process. But let's
Ah.
first find the white center piece and face it upwards.
Let's go. Now
We'll
we're
keep
solving.
it this
Look.
way for the whole step, so remember that that's the way the cube is facing whenever we're talking about it. Then you're going to want to find an edge piece on the bottom row that has a white side and a side with a color. Turn just that bottom row so that the color matches with the correct center. And then just turn that whole front face so that it lines up with the white cross. If one of the white edge pieces is not on the bottom row and instead in the middle, you can get it out by simply turning that face once to the bottom row and then moving as needed.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with a text message here. What are we doing? Are we daisying?
Now you also might run into the issue of a piece not being oriented correctly and the white side facing out like this. To fix this, we'll keep that piece on the bottom row and then just turn it away one time from the center it matches with, making sure to still keep facing that same side. Then turn that side face once.
Why is
to
the
create a
title
match with
aged
the
weirdly,
center
Alex?
color. Finally, you can rotate that front face to click with the white cross.
Do you mean just with
also.
the
Additionally, you can
with the
still
clock
rotate
stuff?
that other side back now, and it will return to the same way it was in case you already completed that edge of the cross. This is the first step in learning to solve
Yeah,
a
right.
Rubik's Cube.
Gotcha.
But don't be too hard on yourself if you're still struggling to follow. It can take a while to become instinctual, so just keep trying while we dive more
Do you
into
always
the
teach
cube as a
Daisy
whole.
first when you're teaching people to solve, everyone? I always teach Daisy.
The Rubik's Cube, initially called the Magic Cube, was invented in 1974 by Hungarian architect Erno Rubik. He originally created the puzzle as a
man.
challenge for his architecture students, but the toy became so popular that by 1977 it began being available for Hungarian consumers.
Oh, that's before even
Its
I was
popularity
made.
would only continue to rise though, and as the 80s rolled around, the cube became available internationally, eventually becoming synonymous with the decades.
Warning, once you get your hands
Classic
on
ad.
Rubik's Cube, you may never be able to put it down. Rubik's Cube, over 3 billion combinations, but just one solution from Ideal.
Technically,
those
this
graphics.
is correct, but there are actually
Dang.
over 43 billion
Fancy.
possible ways to scramble a Rubik's Cube. Oh, I apologize.
This is
43
really good.
trillion
I have seen this
possible
part.
scrambles. Except I lied again, because there are actually
Why are you lying to me,
43
Paul?
quintillion, 252 quadrillion,
Can't believe Paul would lie to me
3
like that.
274 billion, 489,856,000 ways to scramble a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, I wanted those last 3.
It's an understatement to say this
Over
commercial
3 billion
was
is
shooting a little
correct.
low.
Well, Alex, did you just actually me?
All that said,
Did you
we
just
got one
actually
thing
our
right.
friend here?
There is one solution. But what makes that solution exponentially more interesting is the lengths people will go to achieve it faster
Dilly
and
Milly
faster.
spotted. How are the levels, everyone? Just let me know. Because the video's quite loud in my headphones. Well, everything is, I suppose. I haven't played Big Map in ages. This is fun. Hey, it's Min.
5 years after the cube became publicly
Mentai?
available in 1982, the first speed cubing competition was held in Budapest, organized by Erno himself.
California. He came to the United States 3 years ago.
The vid's a little bit too loud.
He pursued a new region.
Alright, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. And just bring it down just a touch. Let me know how that goes.
The competition saw the first ever official Rubik's Cube world record, with a time of 22.95 seconds, set by American Min Tai. An impressively good time to start official record keeping. The popularity of competitive Rubik's Cube solving began fading in the time after this competition, and its revival wouldn't begin until the early 2000s. The next official record finally came in 2003, when the World Cube Association was founded, and speed
Wait, what
cubing
year was that?
finally came in 2003, when the World Cube
2003.
Association was founded, and speed cubing competitions started
Do I want
being
the sweeper?
officially held. At this event, Dan Knights
yeah.
knocked the record down by over 6 seconds, thanks to improved solving techniques and practice. In 2004, Shotaro Makasumi began a reign of record holding, setting 4 new
Japan
records
dominated
in a
for a
row.
while, hey.
These jumps were possible through the use of the CFOP method, which is a 4-stage process used
We
to solve a
foppin'.
Rubik's Cube quickly, still used by many top solvers today. This, along with newer, faster first 2-layer insertions, that's the F in CFOP, allowed the record to plummet. By 2007, the record was pushed to 10.36 through the development of new finger techniques, which are optimized turns with minimal full hand movement, along with significant improvements in speed cubes themselves, which enabled speedier turning and optimized corner cuts. The sub-10-second barrier would finally be broken by Thibaut Jacquino in May of 2007 with a 9.86 through
That was
intense
our first
optimization
9.
of algorithms
I didn't know
and
that.
serious commitment to achieving new speeds.
Eric Akajic.
But the record
I've heard
lowering
that
didn't
name.
stop there, and with full CFOP adoption and the optimization of the last 2 steps, orientation and permutation of last layers, the record was bound to continue falling. After Eric Ackersdijk's 7.08 in
Ackersdijk, thank you.
2008, a new record wouldn't be achieved for over 2 years, but when it did, it would be by a legend. From 2010
Felix
to
has
2011,
entered the chat.
Australian speedcuber Felix Zemdegs would set new world records 7 times in a row.
Is the are we
including
happier
2
with the volume
instances
levels
of
now?
doing so twice in one day. There's a strong argument that Felix is the best speedcuber to ever solve, and it
There's
comes from his many
such good
advancements
research
in
in this,
cubing
eh?
technique, along with his
Ooh.
incredible speed-solving skills. These records came from using OLL and PLL to their full potential, along with more major advancements in speed cubes. This is also the time when the adoption of color-neutral solving came in, where you solve on whichever colored side
Imagine
is most
being color
advantageous,
neutral. Imagine
rather
being
than just
2
sticking
color.
to white or yellow like in the past.
What's up,
Felix's streak would
Coca?
finally be broken by Matt's
Nice to
Vault
see ya.
in 2013 with a 5.55, 2 years after
Thank you,
the
Coca.
previous record. These changes were fueled by continuous improvements in speed cube designs, including the rise of magnetic cubes, which increased control, stability, and of course speed.
What was
It
your
would take
first
another 2
magnetic
years for
cube,
that record.
everyone? What was your first proper magnetic cube? I'm not sure if anyone watching will have been around for the first, like, I feel like not many of you watching will have bought a cube that was non-magnetic at release and then magnetized by hand in a store. I actually never had one either, but I remember that period when there just weren't production magnetic cubes. So my first magnetic cube that I bought was an RS2M, Stickered RS2M. I don't think there was a stickerless one, to be honest. I'm not sure if there was a stickerless RS2M. But yeah, RS2... Wait, no. What am I talking about? GTS2M. GTS-M. It was the Moyu Weilong GTS2M. So, I need to use a go up thing to get my points as well, do I? Okay, sure thing. Got to get those achievements. GTS2M, is that what it was called? I think so. Gosh. That hammer's pretty mean. Drop. What was your first?
With a 5.25,
Weilong GTS2M. Yes,
right
that's
on
what
the
I'm talking
cusp of
about.
sub
Thank
5
you.
seconds.
So
November
exciting.
21st, 2015 is considered one of the greatest
GAN
days in
XS,
speedcubing history,
TV3.
as Lucas Etter finally broke the sub 5-second barrier with a time of 4.90. And yet records were still on the horizon. Inspection phases were getting better, cubers were more prepared, last layer algorithms and skips were becoming consistent, and cubes were state of the art. In November of 2018,
get a sub 5.
speedcuber Yu Shengdu would break another Felix world record,
Yu
along with the
Shengdu
sub 4
was
barrier by over half a
wacky.
second, ending with a time of 3.47 seconds. This record would then stand for almost 5 years. By this point,
Was it really
nearly
that
every
long?
top-level
5
solve
years?
approached a perceived human limit, with major fallbacks often just being bad luck in the randomness of the scramble difficulty. Beating the
use a
world
rifle.
record would require mastery
Stay
of
here.
inspection, technique execution, a person's emotional state, and the cube in their hands. So that's exactly what they aimed to do. Max Park, another speedcubing legend, would break the record with a 3.13 in June of 2023 through the near-perfect execution of speedcubing techniques.
Let's go, Max.
And yet,
I think this is about as much of the videos I've seen as the like the history part. I don't actually know what comes later.
3.08 by Yiheng Wang, and then
So,
finally
exciting.
in April down to 3.05 by Xuan
Oh, shit.
Yuzhang,
Whoa,
where
whoa,
it
whoa,
still
whoa, whoa.
stands
Oh,
as of
dang it.
August 31st, 2025.
After all that prep.
The sub 3-second barrier is now in sight, and professional cubers are right on its heels. By the time you're watching
thanks for
this,
subscribing.
who knows how many of the
Think
world
someone
records
subscribed?
from the
Is that
intro
what
of
happened?
this video have been broken. And history may have already been made with the Rubik's Cube, too. You can visit the WCA website now to see where the Rubik's Cube world record currently stands.
Nice hedging, because it could have
If you're
changed.
thinking
But
about trying to take on the record yourself, you're first going to have to better understand algorithms. Now, you already know a bit of the purpose of CFOP, but what is an algorithm really? Well, a
hold on. I'm just going to turn the volume of the game down a little bit here. I feel like that was a bit much. All right, carry on
Rubik's
as you
Cube
were,
algorithm
Paul.
is a basic sequence of turns that you do in order to change the cube into a different.
Todd, my first non-Rubik's was the Chi Thunderclap. You've been going since 2015. Nice. Flagship gang. Oh, Clement got the XS.
State,
Yeah, that was
including
the
solve.
flagship gang when I
Each shuffled
first
cube
bought the
has
store.
its own unique algorithm for the turns that scrambled it. Then there are algorithm sets used to solve them. For example, here is the full algorithm for the scrambled cube you're seeing in the tutorial. If you did these
Anyone
turns
fast
in
enough to
reverse,
try it?
it would solve the cube again. Of course, we don't usually know this order, so we have to follow a longer path that will solve any scramble, but with additional effort.
He's not wrong.
Algorithms are made up of symbols representing turns, so let's start by breaking this down. We're going to use the red side as the side facing us, and the white side pointed up. While the cube is like this, the red side is called the front, and the orange is the back. Blue would be the right,
Oh,
and
Paul, I hope you're not going to scramble with red in the front, otherwise you're going to get well actually.
green the left.
The well actually brigade will be after you.
White is on the top or up, and yellow is on the bottom.
Correctly,
or down.
technically.
As you solve the cube, you'll end up rotating the entire thing constantly, but these definitions will stay in the same places relative to you. This is important when following an algorithm because the symbols represent directional turns. The letter F means front, so you would turn the front-facing side 90 degrees clockwise. R means a clockwise
so
turn
interesting
of the right side, and L
that
of
he's
the
chosen
left
to go
side.
into this much depth.
Be careful
I
here
kinda
to
love
make
it.
sure the turn is actually going clockwise, which is the default. Remember that from the front, it will look the opposite on each side. U stands for up and represents turning the top face of the cube once, and D stands for down with a turn of the bottom. Again, remember to make sure that you're going clockwise. Sometimes you do have to make a counterclockwise turn though. This is represented by adding an apostrophe to a letter symbol. This means a clockwise turn, and this means a counterclockwise one. You also sometimes run into a 2 after a letter, such as this. This means that you're turning that face twice to make it 180 degrees instead of 90. In that case, you can obviously go either clockwise or counterclockwise to get to the same point. These symbols make up every algorithm and are the basic constructs of solving a cube. Let's practice this new information by covering some simple algorithm sets important towards learning to solve. We're going to do what's often called a righty and a lefty. Here are the algorithms. For a righty, you're going to turn the right side clockwise once, then the top clockwise once. Next, turn the right side counterclockwise once, and the top counterclockwise once. Think of it like doing 2 turns and then undoing them. You can actually practice this by doing it over and over, and after 6 times, it should be back to the point you started.
He's not wrong.
A lefty is
Everyone knows
very
that trick.
similar, but inverted. First, do a counterclockwise turn on the left face, then a counterclockwise turn on the top face. Next, turn the left face clockwise once, and then the top face clockwise once. Just
I'm
like
much
the
better
righty,
at righty
you can
than
do this
lefty.
multiple times and end up back where you started. And there you
kinda
go.
goofy at
You
lefty.
just learned a basic algorithm set of
Yay,
turns
we
that
did
will
it.
help you solve the cube.
Thanks, Paul.
In fact, let's practice these techniques now.
Huh? Where are we going now? Look at these graphics, by the
Our
way.
next goal is to complete the white face by correctly solving the corners around our white cross. Let's face the white side down for now to take a look. For this step, you'll need to be sure to match the corners so that all 3 colors are in the right spot and the correct orientation. At the moment, your corners will currently be in the top row or the bottom row. We want to get a corner in the top row and align it above the correct spot it should go into. This corner
What's
is now
this?
in the
This is
right
creepy in
spot
here.
since it matches the 2 colors of the middles and has a white side. If your corner is in the bottom row incorrectly, you can get it out by holding the cube so that the wrong piece is on the bottom right-hand side of the front face, and then do a single righty. Once you have your corner aligned above the correct spot, hold the cube so that the corner is in the top right of your front face. Then you can just do a righty over and over until the corner is correctly placed and has the white side pointed down.
Dang, how do you dive again? It's been too much GTA, not enough Fortnite. I've forgotten everything. Cringe.
Now do this with all the remaining corners until they're all correctly placed, and one whole layer of the cube should be completed. You can actually do this whole step the same way inverted, using lefties in place of righties. For some turns, it's actually quicker to use one or the other, so feel free to experiment, and eventually it will just come naturally.
Uh-oh, out of zone. That's not good.
Depending on the cube you're using, it might feel difficult to turn quickly. This is because the original Rubik's Cubes aren't made for speed. The pieces
They're
are
barely
blocky
made for
and
turning.
fit together
Am I
squarely,
right?
causing more friction. Speed cubes are designed specifically to mitigate those problems, exchanging the interior for one that allows for more movement. For example,
You know what's great? It's like, the reason I want to talk to Paul is that I want to talk to him about his approach and how he's explained this, I think, in a way that a lot of cubers wouldn't necessarily, you know, because he's got a really good idea of who he's making the video for, in my opinion. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's actually hitting me. I gotta get out of here. Uh-oh. I picked on someone who knows what they're doing. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. And I got no ammo. Oh, man. What a tool. I've made poor decisions, everyone. Very poor decisions. I've been marked. I'm getting out of here. I am getting out of here.
Pieces are slimmer and fit around a circular interior, allowing for more speedy turns. Cubers also often use cubes that have interior springs or magnets that keep the pieces from being as crammed together and reduce friction while turning. Some even have magnets on the edges of pieces themselves, helping sides align precisely after each turn. Since these cubes are more loose and fluid, it allows for better techniques and things like corner cutting, where pieces aren't required to be perfectly lined up in order to turn. With so many cube designs, solvers can pick what fits their style best, and there are actually some major brands that make faster and faster cubes. GAN, QY Toys, Moyu, and Rubik's Speed are a few major players, but there are many different options for speed cubes and tons of opportunities to find what feels right. These brands are actually major players in the speedcubing world, and even sponsor cubers at major events, each to be the face of their version of the Rubik's Cube.
Oof. Is that North America? Oh no. Yeah, North American. Rip indeed, Todd. That was rough. Back to Blitz for me. I'm more of a Blitz boy.
The best place to browse speed cubes, or really anything cubing related, is on SpeedCube Shop. They're a staple in the cubing community and a great place to start looking at getting your first speed cube. The records, events, and rules of competitions are all managed by the World Cube Association. The WCA is run by volunteers.
I can't believe you would do that to the cubicle.
To the WCA board.
Can't believe you didn't mention my
help
shop.
These events happen all over the world.
Tough.
They're also in charge of what events are official competitions, starting with the 3x3, but not ending anywhere close. All we've discussed so far is the classic 3x3 Rubik's Cube, and it is by far the most popular cube to
Clank
solve.
spotted.
But there are actually 17 official WCA competitions using 11 different kinds of puzzle toys. The 3x3 cube is easily the most solved cube, as well as the one that garners the most attention.
It's our main
official
event.
Competition was the one back in 1982, and you'd be hard-pressed to find competitions now that don't include 3x3 solving.
I think they exist though, don't they? I feel like people have tried goofing around with competitions with no 3x3, haven't they? I feel like that's happened. People are always making goofy new comps.
The second most popular cube in competition is the 2x2, which is much simpler than the
Shout out
3x3
Teddy and
and
Yehan.
causes solves to seem to happen in an instant. The first official competitions for 2x2 were held in 2004. Because of its simplicity and speed, this cube often tends to be extra popular with younger cubers, who do not disappoint with their times.
Timmy accusations.
While it is simple, the fastest 2x2 solvers still end up memorizing an array of algorithms to make sure
Todd,
they
the
only
editing's
turn when it's
incredible in this
absolutely
video.
necessary.
Given it's 90 minutes long. It's 90 minutes long. It's such an endeavor to edit something on
That's
this
really
scale.
important when a great time
So
has to be
impressive.
less than a second. The 4x4 cube goes the opposite way, adding an additional layer to the 3x3. These cubes first saw official competitive solving in 2003. As cubes get larger, they obviously
Interesting.
get
So
more
4x4 was
complicated and take
official
longer to
before
solve.
2x2, huh? There
4x4s
we go.
are commonly tackled by first matching all the pieces of the two internal layers, and then basically treating the solve the same as a 3x3.
Yeah, okay, I think
larger
he's
cubes
talking
also
about the
deal with
centers.
the scary concept
Using different
of
words, but
parity,
he means the centers.
where the orientation or position of a few pieces are switched right at the end of a solve. These often take a whole additional set of algorithms to fix, and are the kind of reason larger cubes are more complex. 5x5s are somewhat similar, but again take more steps and time. These cubes also first saw competition in 2003, and the common method here is the same, first matching the internal 3 sets of pieces, and then using 3x3 solving methods. At this point, solvers also have to be careful to not
that took
break
a
the
lot longer
cube
than it
while
should have.
solving it. Larger cubes have a lot more pieces, so when you're turning them really quickly, it's easier for them to break apart. If a cube does break, it's not that complicated to put back
rifle or
together,
an
but it
SMG or
can be
something. Not
tedious
like having
and
only
definitely would
shotguns.
not help your time. This can sometimes happen in competition to any kind of speed cube. When it does, the competitor has to choose to either put the cube back together and finish the solve, or take a DNF, which means that the time is not counted at all and can't contribute towards an average score.
The D and DNF stands
WCA
for
events for the
drama.
6x6 began in 2009, and this cube is even more complicated than the last. There are a few methods to solve the cube, but again, the 3x3 reduction method is the common go-to. This cube is complicated enough that it's very uncommon to see solves take less than a minute to complete. Max Park only recently broke the sub 1 minute barrier for the first time in 2022.
Shout out Max, always.
The largest cube currently in official competitive play is the 7x7, which is a challenge to conquer. These cubes are complicated and take a lot of endurance to solve at a top level, usually taking multiple minutes of serious focus and speed. WCA records for the 7x7 go back to 2009, and just like the previous cubes, the 3x3 reduction method is the common go-to for achieving them. This of course comes with much more
Try to shut me
complicated
down.
algorithms and more steps, along with major parity possibilities.
No.
7x7's like reading a book. Like it's just like relaxing.
Exactly.
That's what I always say about my 11. It's like you do a
There are
chapter.
two additional
you just gotta
competitions
grind on
for
it.
solving the 3x3 in unique ways. The first of these events is 3x3 one-handed, which conceptually follows the same system as normal 3x3 competition, but as the name suggests, only allows the use of one hand. Since this limits mobility, it requires modified techniques. It also has records that are slightly longer than using two hands, but not really that far off. The first one-handed competitions were in 2003, and this event is often popular with expert cubers who are looking for another challenge.
OH is fun. I'm garbage at it. What's
An
up, level
additional
up?
one of these challenges
It's really good,
is
eh?
3x3 fewest moves, or FMC. FMC isn't a speed event, and the timer is drawn
Denise.
altogether in place of an hour
Denise,
limit.
what the hell is going on? Is a valid question always. I am going to be talking to Paul, who created this video, and I haven't watched the entire thing yet, and a lot of people haven't watched the entire thing yet, so I was like, well, you know what? I'll just chop through it. You don't have anything bigger than a 5x5, Todd? Come on now. I really want that mini 7x7. I got some in and they all sold, and now I don't have one because I'm not smart. So I'm going to have to get some more in. I'll be ordering next week. So I'll get some more of those mini 7s. If you've got a 5, Todd, you will love a 7. If you are a sadist and you like the parity, you will get a 6. 6 is cool though. I do enjoy 6. I've got a Mailong 6M, and honestly, love it. Really love it. I used to knock out a solve every now and then on it, and then I one night just scrambled it a bit too viciously and then popped it, and haven't been bothered to repair it. And then a bottle of lube leaked in my kit box, and now it's got a piece popped. And it's kind of greasy, so I haven't sorted it yet, but I will, because I love it. I got into the habit for a while, for ages. I would just do a 6x6 solve before I went to bed. So yeah,
Given cube
that was a cool
scramble,
story, wasn't
you
it?
write out an algorithm that would solve
Like and
that
subscribe.
cube in the smallest number of steps. You're provided paper and a pen, and you're allowed to bring your own cubes to test your solution. But
I've
at the
done
end of the
FMC.
hour,
I've done FMC once unofficially, and I got an 81 in my first solve, and you can only have 80. You're not allowed to go over 80. And what's annoying about that 81 is I didn't notice I did an FF prime. So I had a totally unnecessary 2 moves. So I could have got an average unofficially, but still.
You have to have a written out algorithm
That was
for the
frustrating.
solution. The goal for it to be as short as possible. The current world record for fewest moves is only 16 turns. To put this into perspective, 20 turns is considered
Once you
God's
get them,
number,
Todd, it's
because
fine.
any scrambled Rubik's Cube could be solved in 20 turns or less with absolute perfect play. 16 is 4 turns less than that, relying on both getting a lucky scramble.
Imagine if we got to a place where we could do FMC in inspection. If someone can take... No, it wouldn't happen though, because you can't just do that. But it'd be amazing if some FMC user was able to bring that stuff to
and knowing
inspection.
exactly how
That'd
to
be pretty
best
funny.
solve it.
I would
While
enjoy
lowering
that.
the
I would like
record
that
is
plot.
theoretically
You
possible,
know?
it would take some incredible luck and amazing skills, likely not to happen for a long time. The next puzzles forego the common Rubik's Cube shape for more unique looks. The first of these is Skewb, which uses the same skills, but the actual methods are different. This is because Skewb rotates on its corners, so algorithms are changed and it makes for a very unique looking competitive solve. Cube competitions began in 2014 and are reminiscent of the 2x2 because of its simplicity and short solving times, but
Silly
benefits
Billy
from
shouldn't turn
memorizing
your
a
back on
wide
me.
variety of possible algorithms to speed things up.
I see you.
This distortion of the basic cube goes one step further with Square One,
Ew.
which is designed in a way
Worst
that makes
event.
the scrambled cube look like
Worst
a
event
jumbled
ever.
mess and returns to a cube shape once solved. This shape-shifting again makes for a unique look in solving and requires more complex techniques to achieve, along with dealing with occasional parity problems like larger cubes. Square One was first competed with in 2003, and record times are somewhat comparable to the traditional 3x3 times.
Squange is weird. I can't condone squanging. Only because it annoys me. 'Cause I
Pyraminx
can't do it.
moves away from the cube shape altogether by switching to triangles. Official Pyraminx competitions began in 2003, and today
Square
this
One
is
is the
actually
devil's
the
puzzle.
third most popular of
I
the
would
17
rather
official competitions
clock main
put
the
on
rest
by
of my life
WCA.
than
Solving is
than
relatively
ever
simple,
Square One.
with world record times being under a second.
Like I said, it's one of the sprint events, as people would call them. You know, it's very fast paced. So at a top level, you know, even the slightest mistakes make a big difference in your ranking or your time. Because it's like, if you get a +2 on 3x3, you know, it sucks, but, you know, it's not like a deal breaker, but like a +2 on Pyraminx can really shake things up.
The Megaminx is an intimidating looking puzzle with 12 sides of 5 edges each. That being said, the basic system
Got him.
for solving this
That
cube
hurt.
is very similar
That
to the
sucked for
beginner
that guy.
methods used to solve the 3x3. Cubers start by creating a star on
Hello.
one side, similar to the white cross method, and then
Uh-oh.
work through the layers from there. Solving times are longer than the 3x3,
Need to shoot
though,
better.
attributed to the much higher required move
Man, that was
count.
ugly.
This event officially began competitions in 2003, just like the majority of previous ones. The most unique looking
Ooh,
of
what's
the
that gun?
competitive puzzle toys also began official play the same year, that being Clock. This obviously looks
Yeah.
much different than a Rubik's Cube,
Holy
but it
hell.
definitely falls in the same category. Clocks have 4 dials, 1 in each corner, and 4 pins in the center. The goal is to
This
make
gun
both
goes
sides of
hard.
the clock have all of the hands pointing in the
Good
same direction.
grief.
If all 4 pins are up facing you, the whole clock face will turn.
Ha.
If only one is up, the 4 faces around it will turn. And if all but one is up, it will just change that corner.
We love clock,
Consider,
don't
though,
we?
that the
Level Up
inverse is
Cuber.
happening on the opposite side.
Level
and
Up
both need
Cuber,
to be
I heard,
solved to
is a
finish.
clock main.
This seems
favorite
complicated,
event.
but with practice, it becomes incredibly intuitive, and professional solves usually only take a
Oh,
few seconds.
dang it. We took each other out. Fair.
Solving a
scrap.
Rubik's Cube is not that hard once you know what you're doing.
Facts.
Solving a Rubik's Cube fast is a bit harder, but with practice, it also becomes much easier. Cubers are always looking for the next challenge, and it was only reasonable to take competitive speed cubing to the next level. So, they closed their eyes.
Wizards, wizard events. Cheggin spotted. Is this same tune gonna play for an hour and a half? Because that's a lot. I'm not sure if I can cope with that.
The last 4 WCA events are all blind.
Level Up
events,
Cube,
which
don't
means
lie to
they're
me. You're
solving a
practicing right
Rubik's
now.
Cube without
You're
being able to
clocking
see
right
their
now.
hands changing. 3x3 blindfold was introduced in 2003 and currently has a world record time of only 12 seconds. That's only 4 times longer than when you can see what you're doing.
Oh, it's Cherry got the world record. I thought it was still Cheggins. I don't remember stuff real good, hey. That is wild, man. Like,
How this works is
I
that
love that
inspection
reaction.
time for the
It's
cube
really
is
good.
included in your overall time. Normally,
What's up,
when
Josh?
speed cubing, you're allotted 15 seconds.
Are you loving the
maximum
7x7?
to inspect a scrambled cube before your time
Josh
actually
got the mini
starts.
Diansheng.
Here, though, your time starts the moment you first see the cube. You can take as long as you want to inspect it, but you can't change it at all until your blindfold is on. Then both inspection time and solving time are counted in your overall time. This means that the cuber must inspect the cube until they know every step needed to solve it, memorize those steps, and then put the blindfold on and do them. You might not even know if you messed up or not until the solve is over.
I'm gonna need some more machinery. I need some more hardware.
4x4 blindfolded also began in 2003 and obviously takes even more skill.
Stanley.
The way cubers do
Mr.
this is by
Chapel.
using a special memorization technique. First, they mentally assign letters to sticker positions on the cube. Then, using a consistent set of algorithms, they figure out which pieces need to move where, and turn that into a string of those letters which represent the movements of those pieces to where they need to go. With these letters, they can create a short sentence or simple story, which is what they actually memorize. This sticks much better in the short-term memory than a raw string of letters or a list of turns. With this, they can put the blindfold on and
Oh yeah, no, that's I'm not gonna be able to
walk
read
through
that.
their
Not
story,
mid.
making the correct moves along the way. The same technique allows for 5x5 blindfold solving,
I need to know
which is
what
the largest
events.
cube solved.
I need to know what events Paul does. That's gonna be my question for him. Just like he knows. You know what I could do with watching this video again and taking some notes, because then I might actually be able to speak with just marginally more authority than I have just now. And the authority I have for events that I can't compete in, like blind and stuff, is 0. So if I could get just above 0 in sort of what I know about some events, that might be quite a good outcome for me. You know what I mean?
Blindfolded, and like the rest, came into official play in 2003. While solving the 3x3 cube blindfolded only requires around 24 letters put into sentences, the larger cubes are more complex and therefore require more letters.
For reference, a 4x4 is about 50 letters and a 5x5 is about 80 letters.
Oosh.
By this point, cubers are pushing
That's
their
a lot.
short-term memory to its limits, but there is still one more official event to go over, and it takes things to another level still. If a couple of minutes of blindfolded solving isn't enough for you, how about trying an hour? If memorizing a couple of sentences is too simple,
I've made an
how
error
about
here.
keeping track of dozens? If solving a
I've
cube
made an
blindfolded
error.
isn't enough of a challenge, how about solving multiple? How about trying multiple?
What is that outfit? That's great. What a great skin. I want the Beavis and Butthead pack so bad.
Multi-blind
That
is
was
probably
rubbish.
the pinnacle
That
of
was
Rubik's Cube
absolutely
solving.
rubbish.
I'm inserting that opinion right
I'm
in because I
embarrassed.
stand by it. In this event, cubers
Whoa,
have
whoa,
to
whoa,
solve.
what?
I'm inserting that.
There's an opinion has
Multi-blind
been
is
inserted.
probably the pinnacle of Rubik's Cube solving. I'm inserting that opinion right in because I stand by it. In this event,
Thoughts,
cubers have to
multi-blinders?
solve multiple cubes blindfolded, back to back, without removing the blindfold. Yeah, it's not memorize, solve, it's memorizing all of the cubes first and then solving all of the cubes at
It
once
is
without
borderline
looking back.
incomprehensible how people
This
can do
event
that.
was
for me.
first officially held in 2007
What
and
is this?
begins with the competitor
There's some
stating
lag
how
going
many
on there.
cubes they plan to solve. They're given 10 minutes for each cube with a maximum time of 1
No, that
hour,
was a skill
even
issue,
if more than 6
Todd.
are planned.
That
The
wasn't luck.
cuber is then
That was
provided
a big
that
skill
number
issue.
of scrambled cubes, and the time starts counting down the moment they begin inspection. They have to examine and memorize all the cubes in front of them, and even place them in a way where they can find them again once blindfolded, as no assistance is allowed. Once the blindfold is on, they have to go back through each cube and remember the needed steps to solve them. The end score is based on how many cubes
Shout
they were
out
able
James
to correctly
McDermott.
solve, minus any unsuccessful attempts or unfinished cubes. For example, if someone declared they were solving 8 cubes, finished solving 7 and only 6 were correct, they would have solved 6 out of 8, but their score would be 4 out of 8 since you minus the 2 failed cubes from the total succeeded. Now that you understand how multi-blind works, I want you to take a second and try to guess what you think the official world record is for this event.
Guesses in the chat.
Have a guess? Well, the
Isn't it
answer
59?
is 63 out of
63.
66 cubes,
Dang,
all
bro.
memorized and then solved while blindfolded in a single hour. Yeah, this number is insane, and the level that cubers can push their memorization skills to is beyond impressive. In order to pull this off, a more intensive memorization technique is required. This
Come on, Mike,
technique
hit him.
is often called the memory palace. Also called the Roman rooms technique or the method of loci, the memory palace is a system that allows someone to store a large amount of information in their short or medium-term memory. This is basically possible by taking advantage of the way the brain makes connections and sort of compartmentalizing your memory and then storing those sentences in different places. When solving, you can move back through those places over time and bring back the memory connected to them.
I take the cover off and the timer starts. Then I memorize each cube.
Who's this?
Put the blindfold on. and then solve them. So if I want to do 3, I do 3. If I want to do 5, I get 10 minutes per cube, so I get 50 minutes. But the cap is an hour, so if I wanted to do 20 cubes, I'd still only get the hour.
So basically, I imagine myself in a location I'm very familiar with. So I'll do like my house or my apartment at school.
The first cube is going to go in my
Your
older
apartment at
daughter's
school?
bedroom, and the next one's going to go in my bedroom. So then, as I'm
Ooh.
solving them, I just walk through my house,
Ooh.
and remember the story that I'm having happening in each one of those rooms, and that tells me how to solve that cube.
Spatial memory is just
I haven't seen this
naturally
in a minute.
better than just memory of, you know, a random string of letters, for example.
So I turn each scrambled cube into kind of a story that I'm telling.
Create images in my mind, and then I put those images in places I'm very familiar with.
So incredibly impressive.
And sort of create like a story, and then I could think back of that,
Ooh,
of the
these guns
location,
have
and
no
then I
ammo.
remember
That's an issue.
the story that happened there.
Having just kind of 100 different places that I'm familiar with. It could just be a bunch of different locations around your house. Could be just different places around where you go to school or work. And just having that association is so powerful, and it helps you memorize so many things.
It's a skill that's, without knowing how it's done, it just seems like it would be impossible.
Yes, I'm not actually visualizing a cube at all. I'm thinking of things happening in places I'm familiar with, and then I know how to solve the cube from there.
It's
Where did that come from? Oh, dang it.
To have different
really
groups
bad
of them
today.
associated with different spaces that you might be familiar with, because that way it helps you keep them separated.
The limits of the human mind are a little bit further than I thought they were.
Most people, I think, if they weren't limited by the time, if they just gave themselves,
are these
if they
original
just took a week
interviews?
off
I
and
need
just
to know
devoted
that.
themselves to like multi-blind only, they could probably memorize several hundred cubes, and just the memory palace will just carry them through it. But within the hour, I'm able to do about 50 cubes within an hour, and I spend about 40 minutes of that on the memorization, and then 20 minutes on the solving.
And Stanley isn't just theorizing.
I'm just thinking of what I want to talk to Paul about. What events does he do? Are these original interviews? The Blinders is where I saw it.
Rising
Just
here.
taking some notes, everyone.
Graham Siggins is another famous member of the cubing
Graham
community,
Siggins.
and he's known for his insane multi-blind abilities. On June 1st of 2024, he began what would turn into an 11-hour live stream where he would attempt to memorize and then blindfold solve 300 Rubik's Cubes.
Incredible.
The only thing more insane than attempting this is the fact that he successfully solved 288 of them. Multi-blind solves are some of the
Absolutely
most
crazy.
impressive things in all of cubing. Competitions for these events don't even happen that often because of how intensive the solves are and just how many cubes they are required to
I'd
make
love to
happen.
talk to Siggins one day and just be like, I want to know what happens to him after one of these attempts, like after one of these 11-hour like mega attempts. What happens to him physically, you know? I want to know. Because he's got to be just wrecked. Like, actually in pieces. Got him!
But with that, we've looked at all 17 of the official cubing events and how they work, although there are a wide variety of other cubes and competitions that are done for just personal records. Some of these include blindfold and multi-blind
Oh,
versions
Spire
of
Rifle,
cubes
finally!
and puzzles that
Goodness
are even
sake,
larger
right,
than
I'm
the
gonna do some
7x7.
damage now.
Some
Watch me
much
suck
larger.
ass now.
There are also events that used to be official WCA competitions, but have since been removed. Some of these include Magic, which is a flat puzzle reminiscent of the Jacob's Ladder.
Don't want that now.
This event required competitors to change the puzzle's shape, but was removed in 2012, mainly because of the fact that the solving process was the same each time, since the puzzle wasn't random, and therefore the solves lacked competitive variety. Another removed event, and one that's very interesting, is Feet, where cubers would solve the cube as fast as they can with their feet. This competition saw some very unique events, and a world record time of just over 15 seconds. It was ultimately removed in 2020, mainly because of how inconvenient setting up events for it was.
Yeah, and
It
it's
also gave the
freaking
cubing
gross.
community a bit of a bad look to outsiders, which the WCA wanted to avoid.
Yeah, gross and creepy. Nobody wants
There's
to deal with
space
that.
in the cubing community for all of these events, official or not.
Nope.
But before you dive into whichever puzzle appeals
Disagree.
to you most,
No feet,
we
thank
should
you.
probably finish learning how to solve the 3x3.
Uh-oh. I need to move.
We already solved the first layer of the cube, so now let's finish the second. We want to put all the non-yellow edge pieces into their correct spots, so we'll work with the yellow side still facing up. If the edge piece you're looking at is already in the top row, you'll want to rotate the top face until that edge is the same color as the center piece it's aligned with. Then make that face be the one that's directly in front of you.
Let's go.
If the edge piece needs to go into the right side position, like in this example, we'll begin the process of moving it there by turning the top face clockwise
Now that I've learned,
once.
now that I know F2L pairs, I find it really difficult to do beginner F2L. Like, I've forgotten. I cannot remember that second L. I can get the corners in, obviously, but getting the shut up! I got this. Getting the edges in without goofing the corners, I find to be like impossibly difficult.
So that the edge moves away from
So I
where
should
it
pay
needs to
attention,
end up.
but I won't.
Then facing that same side, do a single righty. Next, you'll rotate the whole cube so that you're facing the other side that the edge piece will be on when it's in place. This is also the face opposite to where you
Surprise,
just turned
dickhead!
that
I got a
edge piece
spire
away.
rifle.
Here, just do a single lefty, and your piece will move into the correct place. Now, if your edge piece needs
My
to go into the
favorite
left
weapon, bar
side,
none.
we'll do the same process opposite. Turn the top face away from where it needs to go, this time to the left.
Let's do
Then
some
do a
sniping,
single
eh?
lefty.
Hey there.
And then rotate the whole cube to that other face and do a single righty. If you have an edge piece that's
Got him.
already in the second row but in the wrong spot, you can get it out by doing the same steps.
What's that?
Imagine it like you're choosing to put a yellow edge piece in that
No.
spot for the moment to take the place. Just face the side with that edge so it's on the right side and do a single righty. Then rotate the cube to the other face of that edge piece and do a single lefty. You can then go back to the initial process to put that new free edge piece
Are you
into
writing
the
this down,
correct
Todd?
position. This seems complex at first, but with a little practice, it becomes second nature.
Ew. Oni shotgun, no thank you.
Now you've successfully completed the first two layers.
We did
but
it, gang.
before we head back, we're going to do another short step, so we'll only have to worry about the corners later. On the yellow face, which is still on top, we want to create a yellow cross, reminiscent of the white cross we did in the first step. With the first two layers in place, when you look at the 5 pieces of the yellow side that will make up that cross, you'll see one of 4 things. Don't worry for now about the 4 yellow corners, they can be in any position for this step.
I won't worry about it.
If the
thank you.
yellow cross is already there, you got lucky and skipped this whole step.
Uh-oh.
Otherwise, you'll either see
Oh,
a
he's got
yellow
big
line
gun.
through the center, a yellow 90
Very
degree
big gun.
angle, or just a single yellow dot in the center.
Ah,
Or the
freaking
cube
got
on
him.
The yellow side is still facing up.
You
have
can't
a
get me.
line orient-
You can't get me with a spire rifle. You cannot get me. I am ungettable.
So it's running horizontally in front of you. If it's an angle, it needs to be
What's up,
pointed
Clement?
at
Welcome
you
back.
and also to the right. And if it's a dot,
Yeah,
you can
yeah. How embarrassing is that when you like people ask me to teach them, and I'm like, dang, I forgot beginners.
just start the step.
Same. I'm just like, okay, here. Lesson 1. You're gonna learn F2L pairs, and they're like, no, leave me alone.
Any side. First, rotate the front face once clockwise, unless it's an angle. Then rotate the first 2 faces clockwise once.
That was a skill
making an
issue on
F
behalf of my
turn, as
competitor
seen
there,
here.
Todd.
Then
for
all
sure.
you have to do is a single righty. To finish, turn those faces back from what you just did, so counterclockwise once with either the first face or the first 2 faces. You should now see the yellow cross appear on top. If you started with just a dot, it won't jump straight to the yellow cross, and instead you'll have either a line or an angle now. All you have to do here is follow the same steps to fix it. By now, you're already most of the way to having solved a cube.
Ooh, nearly got it.
Before you head off to your first speedcubing competition, it's important to understand the concept of average records. At official competitions, it's the organizers who are responsible for scrambling all used cubes, and there's a specific way to do this.
Check 'em, boys.
First,
Check
the cube
'em.
is taken out of the competitor's sight, so as to not allow anyone to have an unfair advantage by seeing it early. Then to officially scramble a cube, the WCA uses a program called T-Noodle, which randomly generates a scramble algorithm that the organizers will use to scramble said cube. It's important that it's done this way so that every cube is scrambled enough to make competition fair. Afterwards, the cube is placed
topical. Ring the bell. Topical. Ding, ding, ding. Fair, fair, fair.
into a cover, which will hide it until it's used in a solve.
Chest? There must be a chest in here. Where the hell is it? Oh, there we go.
Like I said before, though, the scramble is completely random, and that has a big impact on time.
Ew.
The best cubers could have a bad solve time just because they happened to get a scramble that required more effort and steps. The inverse is also possible, and you could get an incredibly lucky scramble that could cut the needed solving steps in half. All this is exactly why the use of average records is so beneficial. When you go to solve a 3x3 at a cubing competition, you'll actually be solving the cube 5 times in total. Your final recorded time for the event is not just the fastest you were able to solve it, but an average of your time minus the fastest and slowest attempt. Let's look at Dominic Radici, for example. This is the 3x3 solving event at the WCA North American Championships in 2024.
I don't know Dominic.
When Dominic goes to solve, he gets 5 different times through his attempts. 6.09 and 8.81 as his best and worst time are excluded, and his final official time for this round of competition is the average of these 3 attempts, resulting in a time of 7.29.
Not bad. Respectable.
Now, the fastest time, even though excluded from the average, can still be counted toward Dominic's single time record, which is just the fastest that they can solve a cube on any attempt. Single time records are what we looked at before when going through the world records, and are often what gains the most attention.
What's interesting, right, is again, even explaining to a non-cuber what's the world record, you're like, well, the average of 5 record is whatever it is, I can't remember, 3.98 or something. And they're like, yeah, but, oh, okay. Well, what's the fastest one, though? I want to know the fastest one. I know the average. What's the fastest one? What's the record? You know what I mean? Like, even explaining that is problematic. We have challenges, everyone. Speedcubing has challenges, and that's why I'm so interested in what our friend here is up to, is talking about. Not this friend here. That's not my friend. You know, there's so many challenges in marketing speedcubing to a mainstream audience. You know,
from general audiences. Average time records, though, are much harder to get, as they're based more on the skill of the cuber, who has to compete
got him, though.
at each
You see that?
It's very common that a scramble could end up being far more difficult or more advantageous, and this is why the best and worst times are not counted, to make it less random and more skill-based. This also gives the cuber a freebie if they just had a bad solve or accidentally messed something up. Within the cubing community, average time records can be more impressive because they show that the cuber is skilled enough to get
within the
great times
community. See, this guy knows.
The current average world record time as of August 2025 is 3.91 seconds.
9.1? Dang it.
This came from a set of 5 incredible solves, all nearly within a second of each other. It's also the first official average world record time to ever dip under the 4-second mark. This time is also within a second of the single world record, which just shows how much skill these cubers have.
That was quite a streak I had there, eh? You see that, Todd? You impressed? You don't even have to say it, I can tell. I can tell how impressed you are. Whoa! I'm out of zone.
Most cubing events score based on these average times, including 2x2 through 5x5, 3x3 one-handed, Scube, Square 1, Pyraminx, Megaminx, and Clock. For some events, though, solving times are already so long that official competitions forego doing 5 solves and just do 3.
Got stuck in my inventory.
All counted toward the average. 6x6, 7x...
For the longest time I did F2L pairs and then beginner last layer, so I no longer know how to do those edges. Yeah, same, Barry. Coco, I was cleaning up there, and then I just got fat-handed my inventory.
4x4 and 5x5 blindfold events
mine.
all do only 3 solves also. While these events do have...
Oh yeah, see, that's this... Wait a minute. This is going to change. Isn't it? Blindfold, 3 blind is going to change because of the new regs we looked at yesterday.
Scores recorded, rankings, and bragging rights are usually just based on single times, as most of them have high DNF rates, and it just makes more sense to focus on single times. Multi-blind is the outlier, and while competitors still take 3 attempts, no average scores are even recorded because of the event's already large scale. Cubers know these scoring methods, and at official events, you can see the crowd mentally calculating averages between attempts. It's a big part of the community and makes these events all the more exciting. In order for competitions
Chai?
and the records
Michael
they
Chai
create
spotted?
to be consistent and organized, official competitive events follow a common structure. It's the volunteer event organizers that manage who is competing and when, and they help cubers know what event is happening, when to be ready to solve, and allow the event to run
James,
smoothly.
James was summoned. Yeah, we were talking. The Paul who made the documentary is he reckons multi-blind is the peak event in speedcubing, and we all said, "Oh, James will agree."
This goes for the smaller local events all the way to the major ones, which can have hundreds of competitors.
It's pretty crazy. I've been cubing since 2011, and I've never seen anything like this.
It's a much larger scale. I mean,
Paul must have been at Worlds.
Logistics. It's a large team effort. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and a lot of it isn't really seen. A lot of tiny little things here and there. It's really challenging to pull something of this scale off, even compared to just a regular competition. It's just a whole different ballgame.
Local competitions, they always fizzle out by the last 3 or 4 events.
Ah.
At this one, people are here until literally they're kicked out.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I think
this
I've
pickaxe
been
sucks.
to over 80 competitions over a span of 7 years. So I guess normal competition, which is going to be 100 to 200 people, whole
Got it.
events, just
Fancy skin
solving
didn't
a
save you
3x3
there, bud,
as
did it?
fast as possible.
What about you?
Those sort of things that you'd more expect from a Rubik's Cube competition. There are also, big competitions like
this.
nationals, for example, and then there are these types of little competitions where we have, maybe 20 to 40 people, and we just hold mostly blindfolded events, and these are the competitions where I have probably the most fun at.
Once it's their time to solve, cubers are allowed to use their own cubes in official competition, as long as they don't break any of the WCA's cube rules. Most speed cubes fall into
forbid.
this category, and the ones that don't are usually obvious, such as cubes with motors. No matter what though, the cubes have to go through the organizers to be scrambled, so they would catch anything strange going on.
People, with any competitive sport, there's going to be some people who are going to try and cheat to get an advantage, and it does happen. A lot of them are just small things.
You know what?
and
I was
oftentimes,
daydreaming earlier, and I was
they
like,
weren't
what
really
happened
thinking
to
too
our
hard about
what happened to our Square One investigation from Worlds? Has there been any? I haven't seen anything about that. Has that been quietly resolved, or has it just been understandably potentially put on the back burner while they work on Clank? You know what I mean? You can do it too, James. You think you do? I appreciate how much faith you have in me, but I disagree. No, I want to learn blindfold. I want to learn blindfold. I do, but I have fundamentals to do first. I want to get regular 3x3. I want to get better at regular 3x3. I want to get sub 15, and I think I'm gonna have to get a coach. I think some coaching is in my future. Just quietly. That's a secret though. Don't tell anyone. Shh.
They realize their mistake. They don't do it again. It's a quick one-time thing. But then sometimes there's every so often a higher profile thing. At the end of the day, for me, it's like why? What's the point? These times it's about beating your best time. And if you cheated to beat yourself, what does that mean for you? Does it hold any value?
Based. No, it
can
doesn't.
be pretty stressful at times.
Where is
being
this? Oh Christ! What the hell is that?
The only one in charge of a competition, or when something goes very wrong at a competition. Because even if I'm not having fun, a majority of the people are having fun, and it's always cool watching kids getting into it. We've had competitors as young as like 4.
When you sit down for your attempt, there'll be a few consistent things present. First is the timer in front of you, which is controlled by touch. When you place both hands on the timer, it activates and then begins counting the moment your hands are lifted. In order to stop the timer and get an official time, both hands must be placed back down on the timer.
Freaking got him!
I organize and delegate competitions in the Southern California region, so Los Angeles, San Diego kind of area. Back in 2022, you know, I was already going to a lot of competitions. My region didn't have enough sort of delegates around, and I was one of the few people in the area who had the necessary experience and knowledge, so I was offered the role and I chose to accept it.
Really just wanting to go to competitions and there being no other organizers in the area. They're just like, well, when are you going to do it? And I was like, I don't know. And then a delegate from Michigan helped me organize my first competition in Madison in 2014. And that was the first one in Wisconsin since 2008.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, trying to organize in areas where there weren't organizers.
Josh, busted. If you win this game, I will learn 3 blind. There is a victory royale, sir. You have to learn 3 blind now. Ha ha ha. That is a contract. Sub 15 race, I'll see you there. Okay, Todd, okay.
Or like, you know, find someone who's like kind of
That
capable
was
of
clean,
organizing, but
look, I got the little Rubik's
and then,
Cube
like,
kind of
teach them the ropes of how to do it, and I would come out and
what's it
delegate
called?
for them.
Emote?
So we got a lot of competitions in areas where there's a lot of cubers, but they don't have competition, so there's not really, you know, experienced organizers in the area.
Along with the timer, a cuber who is about to solve will have
What's
a
up,
scrambled
Wesley?
cube in front
Nice
of
to
them.
see ya.
It will still be covered at this point so as to not be shown until they're about to begin. There will also be a judge who is the person sitting
Whoa, Wesley won the US Memory Championships. What do you have to do for that?
next to
Tell
them
me
at
more.
the table. They are very important for making a solve possible and are also required for any competitive attempt to be considered official.
You know, you need to have all the scorecards printed.
Yeah, why is Siggins
sorted,
not doing that?
Make sure everything's
Wesley,
going-
are you? What's your multi record, Wesley? I think you're in my outro, aren't you, with a blindfold on your head? What's your multi record?
smoothly. As the delegate, I have to provide the scrambles from the computer program and make sure that they're getting switched in between every group and handle any incidents that might happen and give out extra attempts when something goes weird. And then at the end, I have to submit the results and submit the report. And
like I said, I started cubing in 2019, so like magnets and stuff were way out at the time. Yeah. But people were still getting used to it because at my first comp, I made the Guhong V2 in my first comp, and I got 15th place out of 75 people. So I proved to people that, you know, older cubes are still good. It's in here somewhere. Like, so I collect more, like, obviously, like I said, rare and stuff cubes. Like, you know, QJ Megaminx version 1 with the tiles.
Spire
When
rifle.
everything is prepared, the cuber will
It's
give a signal
Jover.
to the judge, who will
Good
remove
luck,
the cover
everyone.
from the cube and start a stopwatch. This is the inspection phase, where the cuber
Whoa.
examines the cube without changing it, and it can last up to
Okay.
15 seconds.
That felt-
When 8 seconds have
that didn't
passed,
feel
the
great.
judge will give a time notice.
8 seconds.
And if the solve starts after the 15-second mark, an automatic +2 is given to the end solve time. If more than 17 seconds pass in the inspection phase, the solve is an automatic DNF.
You know, I wait for the competitor to say they're ready. When they do, I start the stopwatch, lift the cover. At that point, I'm kind of, you know, going back and forth, stopwatch, the cube, making sure they're not trying to cheat. Very few people have ever tried to do that, but, you know, gotta make sure. You know, call inspection times, and then I just kind of, when they start their solve, I just watch, you know.
the regulations were kind of wild back in the day. You get 15 seconds to inspect, and then if you go over 15 seconds, it's a +2 second penalty, and if you go over 17 seconds inspection, that's a DNF. And back in the day, like many years ago, it would be, you would start the stopwatch, and then at 15 seconds, you would stop it, and then count in your head
What?
for any further penalties
What?
instead of just letting the stopwatch go. There's a bit more precedent on how you handle certain situations, because before something weird and new would happen, be like, I don't know. And they have a
Am
lot
I in
more
the storm?
committees now
Yeah, I am.
for the World Cube Association.
I gotta
After
go.
the inspection phase, the cuber will place the cube down in front of them and then their hands on the timer. The solve starts the moment they pick their hands up. In blindfold solving, the timer will have already started, but the cuber has to place the blindfold on and then begin solving. The judge makes sure this process is done correctly, and also often holds a cover in front of the cuber for an extra
Come
layer
on,
of hiding
bro.
it.
Like, that
Then
was...
the cuber will do their best
That's
to be as
ridiculous.
fast as possible, finishing their solve once again with their
I hope you
hands on
die
the timer.
real soon.
Personally, I think Magic should be brought back just for a little bit, just to see, because
Just for a little bit.
YouTubers have really loved the idea of Magic. Like yesterday, like Magic was an unofficial event. Like, you know, just like an 8x8, 9x9, because the Dianshangs are really smooth and stuff. I tried one. They're really good. So I'm like, maybe it'd just be super cool.
You know, back in the day, we would never have a competitor limit. We'd have at-the-door registration. We would just, you know, throw up the competition and see who comes. You might get 40, 50 people. And then it you know, it starts.
Wesley, this sounds wild. Different events, long-term, words, tea party, memorizing faces, names, and date. That's my actual nightmare. And then double deck, which is 2 decks of cards in 5 minutes, bro. That's
Started to get where we had
so
to
impressive.
put in a competitor limit because like a room would be packed and we're like, oh, that was a few too many people. And then now, like, so many people got into it over COVID. Sometimes the registration will fill like instantly.
When an attempt is completed, the cuber will drop the cube down and the judge will check.
While we've got you memory boys in the chat, I was talking earlier because Graham Siggins was mentioned, and I was saying how it would be really interesting to speak to him, and have him tell the story of like what happens to him physically and mentally after one of his, you know, mega attempts, you know, after he does his 11-hour attempts or something. Like, what does that do to him mentally? You guys might have some insight about that, because I can't. You must sleep for like a long time, I would imagine, because it's a lot. I feel like
check to make sure it's sufficiently solved. This obviously means that all faces
Tea Party
are
is the
correct,
hardest, yeah,
but also
for
that
sure.
even their last turn made it all the way around and they didn't jump the gun. This does sometimes happen, and a successful completion requires the last side to be more than 45 degrees into place, or the cuber receives a +2 penalty to their time. It's also the judge's job to record the achieved time, as an official record will be required to be signed off on by the judge as well as the competitor. Judges and organizers are volunteers, but they're also often competitors themselves and will commonly compete at their own events. In the same way, competitors also often help judge so that everyone can have a chance to solve, and the event can have many people going at the same time. And this means everyone. Some events are dominated by younger audiences. At these competitions, the organization is no different, and the kids take on the responsibility of judging where it's needed.
And you know, if you look at these competitions, most of them are like volunteer. You see 10-year-old kids judging and writing down data that's going to be concrete in the WCA database that serves the whole world,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and isn't that an interesting conundrum? Isn't that the crux of many of our issues? You scumbag, get back here, sir. Oh crap! That was my fault. That was my fault. I goofed that. That was very silly. That was silly Billy behavior.
I mean, that's crazy if you think about it. You know how much
shout out Schwann
we
Park.
rely on the integrity
Max.
of a 10-year-old. You know, and the funny thing is that when you give them respect, they rise to the occasion, and that's something I think that a lot of the
Generally
parents
speaking.
they discover for the first time. You know, so every time I meet a parent at a cubing competition that's brand new, you know, and he's like, oh, it's my kid's first competition, and every time I look at the parents and I congratulate them. I said, this is the best day in your life, not your kid's life, because you've just joined a community that's going to do half your parenting for you.
Bro, I'm getting shamed. I'm getting shamed as a parent by Schwann. If only my kids were into it. No, I'm a dance mom. that is my life. This weekend is going to be actual hell for me. Georgie's got a dance performance. Well, 3 of them. So dress rehearsal and performance tomorrow. And then, oh, I ran out of ammo. That's interesting. What an interesting strat by me. So yeah, dress rehearsal, performance tomorrow. And then, no, don't pick it up. Oh man, I hate when it does that. Dance performance, dress rehearsal and performance tomorrow. And then 2 performances on Sunday. Meanwhile, Charlie has things to do as well. I'm just going to be driving my car around, wishing for Monday all weekend. That's the dad life, everyone.
Because you're gonna these kids
Schwan
are gonna
knows.
teach
Schwan
them
knows.
integrity, honesty. Because this is the only place I know where the kid, if somebody
It's a
writes the judge
jazz
writes their time
performance.
incorrectly to their benefit,
And they both
they'll
do
correct
ballet.
them and say, no, my time wasn't that good.
Lots of it.
These younger cubers are not only willing to volunteer to help, they want to, and they actively become both a welcome
Not in
and
my experience. How about your experience, James? They want to? Not in New Zealand comps, am I right? Man, trying to get volunteers. Oof. All right, I shouldn't have run in there. That was ugly. Trying to get volunteers is tough
part
sometimes.
of the competitive speedcubing community.
That was so reckless running in there. What a silly
And this
Billy.
cycle continues. As these kids grow up, they will be the ones making these events happen and welcoming a whole new generation of cubers. Solving a Rubik's Cube fast may be a somewhat niche
There's a Luke.
hobby, but it's by no means a small
It's a
phenomenon.
Greiser.
In 2024 alone, there were official WCA events in the Netherlands, Kuwait, the UK, Slovakia, South Africa, Jordan, Hong Kong, Israel, Argentina, Bolivia, Finland, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Slovenia, Uzbekistan, Austria, China,
Oi,
Norway,
whoa.
Peru, Germany, Brazil, Mexico,
James, you watching?
Slovenia, Uzbekistan,
Hey,
Austria,
New Zealand.
China, Norway, Peru, Croatia,
Don't forget
Romania,
to mention New
Canada,
Zealand.
Colombia, Portugal, El Salvador,
listening.
Sri Lanka, Estonia, Ecuador,
Don't forget
Hungary,
to mention New
Uruguay,
Zealand.
Ireland, India, the Philippines, Singapore, the Czech Republic,
Hey.
Australia, Vietnam, New Zealand,
New Zealand.
Latvia,
Thank
Indonesia,
you.
Iran, South Korea, Italy, Denmark, Thailand, Malaysia, Japan, France, Spain, Belgium, Guatemala, Poland, Kazakhstan, Sweden, Ukraine, Switzerland, and the United States, of which there were events in
Ooh,
34.
ooh. Idea for a tier list. Cubing regional organization logos, ranking the world's cubing organization logos. That could be a good tier list, potentially. What do we think? Or is
This
that
is
dumb?
just 2024, with many of these places having multiple events through the year.
It's always a lot of fun because I get to see a lot of my friends from all over the U.S. and the world. So it's a good opportunity. Like at least once a year, I get to see a lot of people I don't normally get to see.
I like how global it is. Like there's people from everywhere that come. You know.
In 2017, I was on a family vacation in Greece, and there was a cubing competition there, and there was just like 20 of us.
And cubing only continues to grow in popularity, with some competitors becoming household
dicey.
names in the community and setting the bar high for everyone solving worldwide.
3x3 U.S. National Champ, please welcome Max Park.
There's 2 parts to Max's cubing life. The first part was rising up, his career rising up to get to the point where he's at. That was probably the most joyous time for him. When you're
Amanda got
rising
good
up
access
to a certain
to
level, I
Schwan
think
at
that
this event
the
as well,
thing
eh?
that you're not aware of is that at that point you sort of have nothing to lose. You're just striving to get to the top. And it's very joyous and fun, and everything is just explosively entertaining for him.
Wow,
Once
what's
he
happening?
sort of got to the top level with everybody else, the joy kind of changed a little bit because now you're worried about losing, and you're constantly looking over your shoulders to see the 10-year-old kid all of a sudden that's solving at 4-second averages.
Nice.
When you first win, they're like, "You did it!" and it's a momentous thing. But
These must be
afterwards,
original,
it's
these
like
interviews.
the only thing that's waiting around the corner for you is you
That was
losing, and
rude.
then everybody's going, "What happened?"
That was rude
Cubers
of me.
like Timon and Maddie and Max and Max Shao, Nam, all these guys, they got a lot to lose. They got a lot of eyes on them. And
He's got a
that
shotty,
pressure also
and I'm
weighs
too
on them, too.
close.
I try my best not to put too much pressure on myself,
That was a bit
especially in
risky.
this event, because I can very easily do that.
That was a bit
so
risky.
sometimes you get up there
What's
and it's
that?
like
Your hand's just not working right.
The hard part is doing that without, you know, locking up. Because in competition, I get nervous, you know.
I wasn't sure if I could perform under pressure the way I did last year because, you know, there's always a massive like 1 year break between majors. So after a 1 year break from doing stuff like that, it always feels a bit uncertain.
You know, it's really not so much about practicing all the time. I think a lot of people think like, oh, you must practice like 10 hours a day. I can tell you right now, when I peek into Max's room, he's practicing like very little. But when he does practice is very purposeful and potent. When all cubers get to sort of like a certain level, they don't need to practice as much. It's more about just getting your mind in the right place. Once you find the joy, you do become better, because it allows you to be more relaxed and confident, and it allows you to get in the zone.
Our next goal in solving this Rubik's Cube is to get the corners into the correct spots. With the yellow still facing up, spin the cube and look at the corner pieces on the top face. You'll want to have each corner in the spot it should go, even if the yellow side is not correctly facing up yet. Turn just the top face, not worrying about the center colors for the moment, and see if you can align the corners. It's likely that this won't initially be possible
Are you
because
listening,
the corners
James?
are scrambled
Should
up.
write this down.
If you're
Might
able
make
to
you-
align
might make
all
you
four
faster.
corners correctly, you've
know?
got a big skip and don't have to worry about this step. Otherwise, examine the
One day
cube
you'll be
until you can
as
tell
fast
if it
as
has
me.
two corners next to each other that both match, or two corners diagonally in the correct positions.
Oh, hello.
Let's start with if two corners next to each other are already correctly placed.
Oof.
Align those corners with where they should go by rotating
Very
just the top
embarrassing.
face.
That's
Then
what I get
let's
for
face
smack
the side
talking.
of the cube that has both incorrect corners on it, with yellow still facing up. We're going to rotate the entire cube once counterclockwise.
You think I'm
so
running
that now
away.
the two incorrect corners, which need to flip
I'm
positions,
not.
are both on the right side face. Then we're going to
God
do
damn
three
it.
righties
Why can't I
back
kill
to
this
back.
guy? Not you, Paul. Ah.
After that, turn the cube back clockwise once to the initial way we were holding
Uh-oh.
it.
Oh,
and then
I've run
do
into something
three
here.
lefties.
This is not good. No bueno. No bueno. I gotta get out of
After
here.
this, you can see that our corners have swapped
Got
positions.
stuck in a bush.
The same process can be used to swap any
How many
two
left?
corners. If your cube has diagonally matching
Yo!
corners, we can follow the same steps to fix it. This will take 2 sets of turns though. For diagonal corner switching, you can start on any.
Oh, hold on a second. James, there was a series of polls in Cubist Friends a couple of years ago to determine the best regional organization. Speedcubing New Zealand won. Well, there we go. Because there's some really good ones. That's interesting that a 2D one. Maybe that was deep 2D
face.
time.
So choose a front face and then do 3 righties.
What's up, Chang? How many wins is that today? 3? 4?
Then turn the whole cube clockwise once.
Blitz though.
and do
I got
3
I got vaporized immediately in the big world one. I'm out of practice on that. I'm just getting my eye in on a blitz again.
Next, rotate the top face to match the 2 corners you now have placed next to each other.
This is actually
with where they
this is not a beginner's method I know. Or it's one that I used so long ago I've forgotten. He's really has Ollie used those lefty and righty
go,
outs?
and we'll follow the same process as earlier. Have 2 incorrect corners on the face in front of you, then rotate the whole cube counterclockwise once so they're now on the right side face. Do 3 righties.
Barry, what's the deal with No, I did read something about that. Stanley put like a bounty on his world record. Did he say he would pay someone if they could beat it? Is that what happened? Josh, yes, 4x4 at next Christchurch Cube Club. You got it. You got it, bud. You're doing a good job of keeping me accountable. I gave Josh a nag license to nag me once a day until the next Christchurch Cube Club so that he could have 4x4. And he's doing very
Then
well.
rotate the cube
He's
back
absolutely nailing
clockwise
it.
once and do 3 lefties. Just focus on the corner pieces and
I'm glad
imagine
someone
where
else
they
spotted
can
that,
move
James.
by simply switching.
I'll ask him about it.
By
Hopefully
the
he's
end,
on the
you
show
should
next
have
week.
the first 2 layers of the cube completed, the top yellow cross in place, and the 4 corners in the right locations, prepared for the next step where we face the yellow sides
Oh,
up.
$1,000 if someone can beat his world record. That is so... I love that. I love that energy. Worried for a second there.
So I found this community through a viral YouTube video of the 3x3 single world record at the time of 4.90, and I saw this and I thought it would be cool if I could also learn to solve a cube. So I learned, and I got faster pretty quickly and attended a competition.
I like
and
Stan
at that
a lot, eh?
competition,
I don't know him, I've never spoken
really
to him, but
impressed, and I thought
I
it'd be
get good
so cool
vibes.
if I
I
could
like
do that
him.
too. So I learned how to solve a cube blindfolded after that, and my interest just grew from there. It was something that I found that I had a lot of natural talent for.
My older brother, he learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube
Oh,
a while
someone's a
before
little
me.
bit fighty, ain't he?
And then I kind of got into it through him.
Ah!
He quit since then. I'm way faster than him. But yeah, that's
That's
I had
on
some
me.
friends in 6th grade when I started that I also learned when I learned. So
Not even beating the
first
W,
got
just
it
getting
in
close for the
2003.
bounty. That's so
I tried
wacky.
to
I
look
love
it up
that.
online, but YouTube hadn't been invented yet.
I just got totally
And so as,
spanked
like,
by
a
that guy. That
6-year-old,
was
like,
totally fair.
The reading just was way beyond me.
And I just kind of saw it on a random YouTube video one day, and I just like, I want to get one of those. So I ordered like a cheap Moe one off Amazon, and that's where it started.
Yeah, like back in the 90s, my friend and I were both trying to get
I'm gonna give a very small editor's note. Not that I should, because this person clearly knows a lot more about filmmaking and editing than I do. But it would be nice to see names of who's talking. That would be nice, you know? That and the music changing would be good. But now I'm being fussy. Hour and 10 minutes in, and it's the same. It's the same tune.
40 seconds or so.
So that's quite tough.
Competitions in the 90s. They didn't actually start up until 2003. So
Chang, I believe that is the secret to what Tommy's doing in 4Blind is one pass.
Decades.
Correct me if I'm
And
wrong, James.
Finally, I had kids, and my kids.
Yeah,
wanted to
James,
learn
if
how to
Stanley gets into multi,
so
you're cooked.
I taught them, and then we found out about the competitions going on, and decided to all go.
Could Stanley be another? Could he be another Siggins? Is it a different kind of memory, though, for multi than it is for 4Blind?
Them as a family.
Genuinely asking, I have
was
no
taught how
idea.
to solve a Rubik's Cube by my younger brother Ivan. He was inspired and taught by our cousin Levi, who was inspired by our older brother Sawyer. So it's kind of a whole family thing.
Okay, so my son Ivan, he really was into cubing, and he wanted to learn how to do blindfold solving, but it was hard. Blindfold solving is hard. So I said, why don't you teach me, and that might help you, and I might have a few ideas to bounce off of you, and we could figure it out together. So when I learned, he said, okay, now you have to compete.
With most cubers, how they do that is they just start, with normal speed cubing, and then they sort of expand to other events like 4x4, 2x2, and then eventually, I think I was sometime in high school, I decided, I'll learn how to solve it blindfolded, and then I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this.
Uh-oh. Oh, Mike.
I love
That
the
was
cubing
dumb.
community. We owe everything to the cubing community. Everything. I mean, Max's success, his future, everything. And so we are so careful and very deferential towards making sure that
Stanley
the
would demolish Graham if he wanted to.
community
Dang.
Gets the respect.
If
and
he wanted
recognition
to, if he
it
put his mind
deserves.
to it.
I mean, yeah, it's fantastic. Everybody wants everybody to do well. It's extremely supportive. I mean, I started competing almost 10 years ago now, and a large part of why I still do is really the community. If it wasn't for the community, I don't know if I would have been doing as much cubing as I do now still.
I love the cubing community. They are so welcoming to everybody, no matter who you are.
Who's that?
I am by
Who's
far
that
the
talking?
oldest person at most competitions.
Is that Cube Mom?
But people just talk to each other and include each other, and
She's got a
they
podcast.
are so willing to teach new techniques to each other, and people love it when other people get their records. So it's a great, encouraging, awesome community.
The cubing community is really great. There's people for everyone. Like you'll find friends no matter who you are, or what you like.
So Max, when he started, he was 10 years old, and so we met a lot of other 10-year-olds that are peers, and now a lot of them graduated. They've already started their lives, and I
How old's Max
can't tell
now?
you how many
Is he
successful
20?
lives there are. In every field. I actually feel somewhat sorry for parents that don't have their kids in cubing. I feel bad for them because they're missing out on just a ton.
My son started competing about a year ago.
Come on, Schwan, what are you doing to me? Why would I be why would I worry about having my kids in cubing when I can be in the completely toxic dance world instead? Giving them, you know, body image issues, self-esteem issues, you know? Think of all that good stuff that cubers aren't getting. I kid. I kid, dance moms. Shout out to all my dance moms and dads.
He got a cube about 7 years ago, and it took him a while to like actually learn to solve it. You know, we had no idea that this was a thing, but once he got comfortable enough to actually come compete, we started last year. And my favorite thing is everyone's got like that camaraderie, and everyone looks out for each other. And even though it's competing, I feel like no one's competing against each other. Like, it's really cool to see all these other kids helping the other ones learn new algorithms.
This is definitely, I would say, if I had to comment on this, I don't have to, but I will. There's definitely a community glazing going on. This is rose tinted. I've seen the dark side. I've seen what lurks in the dark.
And, you know, that person might take your record, but they're also willing to teach each other and help each other, and it's really sweet.
I think it's great. Everyone is very supportive. I mean, technically these things
Generally speaking, yes,
but
I would
it
agree.
almost never feels like we're competing against each other. It's just we're each pushing to do our own personal bests every time.
Jeez, that was ugly.
You know, when kid gets a new algorithm, they sit there and go, they get online and they say, hey guys, look what I did. Check this out.
Hey,
what do you
guys.
think? Is there anything I can improve on? You know, it's just such a sharing community to raise the tide for everybody, you know, and I see that as just, you know, such a success formula.
The community has always served as a really great inspiration to keep pushing through some of my toughest moments. Just having people around that I can kind of theory craft with and really
Very
explore
true.
ways to
His story is
truly push
amazing,
the
eh?
limits of what we're currently capable of doing.
Just the idea of a group of people trying
Sorry.
to have
Sorry.
fun and come up with new ways
Psych.
to do
No,
things
sorry.
and get faster and get better
Oop.
and improve themselves in some way. You kind of see a common trend in a lot of people who want to get better at Rubik's Cubing, and that they want to get better at a lot of different things as well.
This is what I call success. People that are just like succeeding and passionate and happy to get up every day and do what they do and feel grateful, you know, for their life, you know. I see that with these cubers, you know. They get their head on straight really early and they don't realize how ahead of the game they are.
It's definitely a very important part of my life. I practice it pretty much every day. You know, my results in competitions, I care a lot about it. So, you know, it's a very easy way to relax after, like, you know, a hard day of school or something.
I love collecting. Just seeing like how different mechanisms work by different brands and stuff. Because of my collection, I've talked to cubers who've retired for like 5-6 years, and I've showed them my collection.
I like this
because
collector
is their
guy. I like
era of
his-
cubing. And they're like, I would get their concept phone.
I like his energy.
And saying, God damn it, you
I
got
get
me
it.
back into cubing.
That's
And
so
I'm like, that's what brings me joy.
For me, it's an opportunity to challenge myself, to have fun, and to practice with thinking of new ways to do things. It's also just something fun to be able to talk with other
Crap.
people about and to share that experience with.
Already badly
We
loaded.
always try to support the cubing community as much as we can. And as much as we love the sort of like the tightness and the cubing community being really small and intimate, but, you know, we need to share this. There's some kid out there that
Crap.
his life could be so much better if he was
Crap.
cubing. And
Crap.
we need to find that
Crap,
person
crap,
and,
crap.
And give him, you know, his joy in life. And a lot of these kids, as they grow up, they carry this over into their world. Like, what's the best way to do this? You know, they're constantly asking, isn't there a better way, a quicker way?
The speedcubing community comes together from all across the world to improve solves, create new techniques, and just join together
is
in
Max's
having
dad,
fun
yeah.
cubing. People unite at events and online through forum pages, Reddit threads, Discord servers, YouTube channels, and so much more. No matter who you are or where you're from, there's a place for you in the cubing community, and it's become a way for many people to make
No speedcube NZ mentioned so far. You know, that's definitely gonna be brought up in my notes as well. You know what I mean?
connections and find somewhere they belong.
Jokes.
Well, you know, Max, he's on the spectrum. He doesn't have as much appreciation for that kind of emotion. I know that if I went to a restaurant and somebody asked my autograph, I feel like a big shot and I feel pretty good. Max doesn't sort of feel that as much. He's probably more thinking, why do you want me to scribble on your paper? For what purpose?
Nigro, Nava, Tommy Cherry, Luke Garrett.
Yeah, I think that people see Max and they know his story. There's a purity to who he is.
We
He
love
doesn't really
Max.
hide anything. You know?
He's our
And
king.
when he's sad, he cries, and and I think that he sort of wears his vulnerability on his sleeve, and I think people connect with that. I think
an
people connect with
icon.
anybody that they can kind of connect with, as far as when they're having a hard time, or they can just sort of share their experience.
Same, Chang. Yeah, no, we have a parents chat, cubing parents chat group here in New Zealand. I think we have a Facebook group as well, but I hate using Facebook, so I don't.
This
But yeah,
community also
we
does
have-
a lot
it's-
to
it's-
support
it's
its
good to connect
minority
those kind of
female
people.
audience and help build them up
Just
in
for
an activity
logistics, if nothing
that has
else.
always been more male dominated. And now there are more women in cubing than ever. Some major cubing events even have a separate bracket just for girls, in addition to the main one, which includes everybody. This helps to lift them up and create more equity within the community. All that
Sure
said, though,
does.
there have always been women in cubing, and some incredible ones at that.
Developed in one shot. So I had, like, for the first 2 layers, I used to simply do the first layer and then insert the cubes into the second
I'm in trouble.
layer.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Competitive cubing
I'm
is
in
a
trouble.
mixed bag of people, but one that is very united and supportive. When it comes to the creation of new techniques,
that was tough.
finding better ways to practice, or just getting over a hard loss. Even when it's someone surpassing your record or beating you at an event, this community is one full of amazing people, and each win is a win for everyone.
Please welcome Timon Koloshinsky.
At the close of 4 days of competition at the 2024 WCA North American Championships, the last event to finish was the final round of 3x3 solving. Competing for first and second place were Max Park and Timon Kolosinski, 2 incredible cubers
Jesus.
who both have major cubing achievements and a real shot at
I've been
this
in a
win.
couple of spots here, eh?
Max does his 5 solves first, and his average time score comes out to 5.69 seconds. Nothing to scoff at. Timon, with the last solves to close off the entire event, can feel the pressure, and the crowd is visibly on the edge of their seats. After 4 solves, his times are looking good, but he's already burned his longest solve, so he has to get a 7.09 or less to win the competition. This should be doable, but he could still get unlucky or barely miss the mark. He begins the solve knowing the stakes of this attempt.
Silly rabbit. The music has changed. Wait a minute. I didn't even notice when it changed, but it has. We're not in 3-step anymore. Ay. Oh, dang, that was devastating.
To push into the last leg of our solve, we want to make our last 4 corners correctly have the yellow sides facing the right way. To start, let's flip the cube back over so that the white side is finally facing up again. It won't matter which side you start on, but pick a face to keep as the front facing you. We're going to be paying attention to the piece on the bottom right-hand side.
I'm paying attention.
If that corner is already in place, just turn the down face until that same bottom right corner piece is one where the yellow side is not already facing down. Then you're just going to do righties until that corner has gone back into the bottom right spot and has the yellow face correctly pointed down. Make sure to not rotate the cube at all, and make sure that you finish all 4 turns of each righty. It will take multiple before the piece is correctly placed. This might seem like it's messing it up more, but it's all part of the process. Once you fix
Trust
one
the
corner,
process.
again
Hey,
rotate
James.
just that bottom face until another corner without the yellow pointed down is in that bottom right-hand
Uh-oh.
spot. Then again do righties until it's placed the correct way. Follow this process with all of the corners that need to be fixed, and at the end, the
That
cube
was
should
dirty.
go back to being just about completed. You can end this step by turning
Uh-oh.
that bottom face to match the corners with the respective colors, so that the only thing incorrect on the cube is the center edge pieces. It can be hard to believe that so much history and community surround this colorful square. But there's just something about the challenge, the symmetry, and the satisfaction
Surely.
of
Come
that
on, come on,
final
come on, come on.
turn that just pulls everyone in.
Wait.
Solving a Rubik's
thought that was
Cube
it.
isn't a test of
Ah.
intelligence. It's a test of
No!
practice, patience, and persistence. In the world of competitive speed cubing, it's a showcase of mastery of their craft.
Chang. Do the fish, do the fish.
Through 5 decades, this community has moved from the feat of just solving the cube in general to being able to finish a solve 3 times in just the length of this sentence. In the end, cubing has always been about the joy of it. The joy of seeing your turns get closer to completion, the joy of trying over and over again, the joy of just being a part of something. You don't have to break any records. You don't even have to complete it. You just have to want to try. There are so many different kinds of cubes, different events to participate in, and competitions all over the world. If I haven't made it clear, I'm encouraging you to try to be a part of it all, even just from the background.
Good on you, Paul.
Yeah, I think anyone can learn how to solve it, no matter your intelligence or background. It took me like maybe a couple days to learn how to solve. I guess it's hard at first, but like, I don't know, for me now it's
Took
second
me a week or
nature.
2, I think,
Just about
to solve it
anyone
without my
could
notebook.
Learn to solve a cube. Like, if all you care about is getting one solved in 5 minutes, anyone could do that. A weekend of practice, and you could probably learn to solve a cube in 5 minutes.
It's hard unless you decide to want to learn. And then when you decide to want to learn, it's not that hard. You could if you wanted to, but you just have to take the time to invest in it and do that. So,
But the barrier for entry is pretty low, I would say. I'd say like a vast majority of people, given a few hours, a couple days, a week, whatever, would be able to do it.
Is sort of like riding a bike. It's going to be a foreign and difficult concept to grasp at first, but once it sort of starts to click, then it drops in difficulty super drastically, and it becomes almost subconscious.
I can understand if it's hard to get into because you just see people that are like so much faster, but I think it's just buy a cube, learn how to solve, only worry about your own times. Don't think about other people and how fast they are, and it's a lot of fun.
Probably less than 1% of the population could figure out a solution on their own. But
Mhm.
solutions are out there. You can go on YouTube and find beginners tutorials, and at that, for just following a beginner's
Alright, who's
tutorial,
that?
no, I
You're about
would
to
say
get it.
not. Anyone could do that.
Very few people who have ever learned it on their own, like, okay, I'm not going to ask for help, I'm just going to figure it out. That is hard. It's very difficult.
Oh, dang
but
it.
As far as like, if you just
I
want
think
to
I've had that
solve
guy
one,
before.
there are a lot of good resources out
Technical
there. that can get
Fox,
you
we've
there
played
really
today
quickly,
already.
and it's a lot easier than
I remember
people
that
expect.
skin and backpack combo.
It's hard enough to where you feel good that you've done it, but easy enough to where it's totally doable.
I've lost my original notebook, Chang, as well. I do have a notebook, but I've lost my original one that had the beginner's
Considering
method
that
in
you've
it.
almost finished your own
I've got the
solve,
one that I've used
you're
for OLL
already
and
a cube,
PLL.
and I would love the chance
And
to help
4x4 and
that
5x5.
30% just a little bit lower.
And my 3x3x10,
Because
11.
each solved cube is proof of a shared connection. It's incredibly unlikely that anyone learns to solve a cube completely on their own. But why should they have to when so many people are here to help teach them?
Yeah, I
how?
know, Todd. Hey, there's
You
like
might be the
some
newest
people
person to learn
don't understand that it's like you're very unlikely to figure it out by yourself. You could, but like It's
To
unlikely.
solve,
And
you
and
can
as our
also
man
do the
Paul pointed out, it's at 1%.
next step in connecting with someone else who will go through the same learning process that you have. And if nothing else, the next time someone brings out a Rubik's Cube, or you simply see one sitting on a desk, you can look at it and say, yeah, I can solve that. After that last step, it's possible that you got lucky enough to
Z-perm.
already finish
Z-perm.
your solve. But
Right?
more than likely, you're one step away and on the edge of your seat. Well, there's no better way to start you off joining the speedcubing community and wrap up everything we've learned by finishing that solve. For our last step, we just need to make these few edge pieces be in the right places. Let's flip the cube so that yellow is again facing up and begin with the last few turns.
We can do this, fam. We can finish
Our cube
this.
could either have 3 incorrect center edges and 1 completed face, or all 4 center pieces could be scrambled.
Can I get a win
If
to
one
finish?
face is correct,
That's what we're all.
make that
That's
be
what
the
we're all
side
looking for.
facing you, and make sure to keep
Oh,
it there.
Spire rifle
Otherwise, feel free
first
to
out the
start on
gate.
any
It's a
side
good
as long
omen.
as yellow is facing up. We'll finish our cube with a very easy step that's just a little tedious. For now, we want to start by doing 1 righty, and then 1 lefty. Next, you're going to do 5 righties, followed by 5 lefties.
What the hell?
Through this whole process, make sure you're being very careful to complete all 4 turns of each righty and lefty. This is the perfect example of how speed solving works, as this solution will work
Wonderful.
every time. But if you really
Wonderful.
want to get faster, you
Uh-oh.
can memorize
The
more
storm.
algorithms that would make this part of your attempt much quicker. This can be a little intensive, but as you get closer to the end, the cube will begin to look more solved. Once you
You good
finish
there, bud?
all those turns, you might find yourself
You're
back
looking a
at a
bit
nearly
dead.
solved cube with a few incorrect
How is your
edges.
face,
this
young
is
man?
okay, and just means that you have a longer scramble and need to do this process again. This will always be the case if you started with 4 center edges incorrectly positioned.
Oh, I'm a bit close for this,
Again,
but I'm still. I'm gonna
face the side
persevere.
of the cube that is already solved. Then do
Worth
a righty
it.
and a lefty. Follow that with 5 righties and 5 lefties.
Ooh.
As you near those last few turns, you might feel the pressure build. Remember to take it slow and not get overwhelmed so that you don't miss a single turn. This pressure is a mirror to the way that so many cubers feel as the timer counts up and they spin the cube like it's a part of them, headed for that personal record. And just like that, not only do you understand how competitive speedcubing works, know all about the different kinds of puzzles and events, understand the
Hunted and
community that
dying.
exists around this hobby, and have insight into the detail of how it's all possible. But you yourself are a part of it, because you just solved a Rubik's Cube.
Yo! There it is. There it is, everyone. That's our man Paul's twisted speedcube documentary. Pretty freaking awesome, hey? Like, it's an interesting one because it's not exactly a documentary. I'm not sure. It's like is it a documentary? This is another question for him, actually. Is this a documentary or what is this? Is it not an expose? It's like a explainer. I think it's very, very useful. And I'm really happy to see that it did actually get some traction and get some views after I first saw it. Because it was like 24 hours in with not many, like 500 or something. And I thought, that ain't right. So I'm glad to see that it is getting some more traction. And yeah, we'll get Paul on hopefully this week, because I've got one more show before the break. One more show before the break. So it'd be nice to get him on before the break, before the heat comes off it completely. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. That was a treat. I'm probably going to private this now because I don't want to create a market alternative for watching his video. I encourage you all to go and find Paul, find his channel, and show some love and support by doing all the YouTube things. You know? Drop him a view. Just chuck it. Just play it somewhere. Play it in the background somewhere. just while you're cubing, just put it on. Have it playing in another tab. Mute it. Give him his views. We want Paul to succeed here, because it's like 167 subs as well. I don't think he'll make tons of cubing content. I don't know. I might ask him that on Thursday as well if I speak to him on Thursday. It's like, is cubing content your let's freaking go? Is cubing content your plan, or what's the plan for the future here? I'm gonna call it there, everyone. What a great way to end. Level 25. Got the dub. I'm going to call it. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I got to go and do some other stuff. I'm not even going to play the outro. I probably should. All right. Peace, everyone. Bye.